Feeling empty can be confusing. Nothing is wrong, but nothing feels fully right either. Life may look stable from the outside. You have responsibilities, routines, perhaps even relationships. And yet inside, there's this quiet, persistent feeling of numbness, disconnection, a kind of inner silence. You may look around your life and think, I should be fine. I have things to be grateful for. Nothing bad is happening. But your emotions don't respond. You can't feel excitement. You can't feel joy the way you used to. Even sadness might feel distant, muted, or buried under a thick layer of nothing. If this feels familiar, I want you to know this. You're not broken, you're not failing, and you're not alone. Emotional emptiness is not a personality flaw. It's a nervous system state, and it has real psychological causes. In this video, we'll explore why emptiness happens and gently look at ways to reconnect with yourself when you feel disconnected inside. Let's begin slowly. What emptiness actually is. Emptiness is often misunderstood. People think it means, I feel nothing, but psychological emptiness is more complex. It's more like, your emotions are far away, your inner world feels quiet or dull, you're physically present, but not emotionally engaged. It's hard to feel excitement, joy, or even sadness. Everything feels flattened or muted. You can't access your own needs or desires. You feel disconnected from yourself and sometimes from others. It's not that you're incapable of emotion. It's that your nervous system has shifted into a mode of protection, often without your awareness. This state can develop slowly, over years, or it can appear after stress, burnout, or emotional pain. But either way, emptiness is a sign of a deeper psychological pattern, not a lack of effort or motivation. Your brain has two primary survival modes: hyperarousal, where everything feels intense, anxiety, panic, overwhelm; hypoarousal, where everything feels muted, numbness, shutdown, emptiness. Most people only recognize the first, but the second is just as real. Emptiness often happens because the brain says, you are exhausted. I'm reducing emotional input so you can cope. Let's look at some common causes. 1. Long-term stress or overwhelm. When you've been overwhelmed for too long, your nervous system eventually gets tired of being constantly alert. So it shuts down emotional intensity to conserve energy. This can feel like flatness, going through the motions, losing interest in things you used to enjoy, feeling like life is happening far away. Your brain isn't malfunctioning, it's protecting you. 2. Burnout. Burnout isn't just exhaustion, it changes your emotional processing. When you're burned out, your body goes into self-preservation mode. Emotions become too draining, so your system mutes them not out of failure, but out of survival. This is especially common if you've had to stay strong, capable, or responsible for too long. 3. Emotional suppression over many years. If you learned early in life that emotions were too heavy, too much unwelcome, unsafe to express, ignored, or punished, your mind may have adapted by turning down the volume of feelings altogether. It's not a conscious choice. It's a protective strategy learned in childhood or adolescence. 4. Trauma and emotional overload. People often imagine trauma as something explosive or dramatic. But trauma can also be chronic emotional neglect, inconsistent affection, growing up unseen or unheard, having no space for your emotional needs, or always being the strong one. When emotional pain becomes too much, the brain numbs itself, not to punish you, but to protect you. The psychology behind emptiness. Contrary to how it feels, emptiness isn't the absence of emotion. It's the inability to access emotion because your system doesn't feel safe enough to open up. It's a freeze state, not a void. Think of it like this. Your emotions are still there. They're simply behind a gate your brain is holding closed. Because somewhere, at some point, your nervous system learned it's safer to feel less. It's easier not to feel at all than to feel too much. If I stay numb, I won't be overwhelmed. This is particularly common in people who carry emotional responsibility for others, grew up emotionally alone, learned to keep their feelings hidden, were expected to be mature too young, experienced unpredictable or inconsistent affection. Reconnecting with yourself is not about forcing emotions back. It's not about trying harder. And it's definitely not about shaming yourself for not feeling enough. It's about giving your nervous system small moments of safety so the emotional gate can open again, slowly and gently. Here are 3 ways to begin. 1. Reconnect through the body, not the mind. When emotions feel distant, the mind can't pull them back, but the body can. Try simple sensory grounding. Warm shower holding something cold. Slow stretching, touching your chest or stomach. Placing your hand on your heart. Feeling your feet on the floor. These small physical cues signal safety to the brain, and safety is what unlocks emotion. 2. Allow small, safe moments of presence. You don't need to dive deep, just pause. Look around the room. Notice a color, notice a sound, notice the way your breath moves. These tiny moments reconnect you with your inner world, not dramatically, but steadily. Think of it as building a bridge back to yourself, one quiet moment at a time. 3. Gently ask yourself, what am I needing right now? Not, what should I feel? What's wrong with me? Why am I like this? But, what does my nervous system need right now? Maybe it's rest, maybe it's connection, maybe it's gentleness, maybe it's space, maybe it's warmth, maybe it's simply acknowledgement. When you ask without judgment, your inner world slowly begins to respond. If you feel empty, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means your system has been protecting you in the only way it knows. Emotional numbness is not the end of feeling, it's the beginning of healing. You can rebuild your connection to yourself. You can open that emotional gate again. Slowly, safely, gently. If you want more videos like this, exploring your emotions, your patterns, and your inner world, subscribe to Mindful Depth. Together, we'll understand your mind, one layer at a time.